Hello, welcome to a Monday Business News Report. It's now time to bring you a feature on the show today as we're looking at one of the reports that made the highlight of the week last week after 222 days and economic losses of about 546.5 billion naira. The federal government lifted the ban on Twitter operations in the country. Now, the lifting of the suspension was announced in a statement by the Chairman, Technical Committee of the Nigeria Twitter Engagement and Director General National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Abdullahi. And according to him, the approval was given following a memo written to the President by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Ibrahim. Seeking the President's approval for the lifting based on the Technical Committee Nigeria Twitter Engagement's recommendations. Now, remember that the federal government had announced the suspension of Twitter operations on the 4th of June last year after the social media giant deleted a post by President Muhammadu Buhari for violation of the country's abusive behavior policy. And according to NetBlocks, the economic loss due to the shutdown at the end of the 222 days was pegged at 546.5 billion naira, amounting to 5,328 hours within the period. Meanwhile, stakeholders have expressed mixed feelings on the development. While some commend the move, describing it as a welcome development, others query the ban from the very beginning. Well, joining me now to discuss this and much more virtually, I have Mujib Ishola, the head of Payments Technology and Infrastructure System Specs. Thank you very much for joining us on the Breakfast Show this morning, Mujib, and a Happy New Year to you.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you too.
It's quite an interesting build-up of momentum, conversations, mixed feelings here and there. And finally, we had the lifting of the ban on Twitter. Now, looking at the engagements we've had so far and the resolutions reached, establishing a legal entity in the country by the first quarter of this year, agreeing to appoint a designated country representative and also agreeing to comply with applicable tax obligations. It is already clear the terms and conditions that we've had Twitter come back. But let's first have your reaction, the first reaction you had when we had Twitter come back, irrespective of those who were using the VPN, your first reaction to Twitter coming back fully without the use of VPNs.
Okay, it's long overdue. This would open up a lot of new opportunities for the different sectors. The impact on the ban, it can't be quantified. I mean, the numbers are that we have right now are the numbers that we can actually get some statistics on. But the impact on the things we can't see, the connections we can't see, is immense, and this is good.
And now, for young individuals who run the business on social media, especially for those on Twitter as well, it was quite a huge loss they had to face. And then we also had the scare last year to where we saw Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well as WhatsApp also go out of touch for a while, and every Nigerian and the global front also panicked a little bit. Now, for businesses who have their presence online, what's your word to them now rethinking and retooling and also looking at creating their own personalized website? Because if you solely rely on social media, you might be surprised that there's certain things that might happen which might throw them off board.
Okay, there are different strategies to business continuity, because the way I view the question is about business continuity.
Exactly.
And people should have different strategies to make sure that the business remains online. The issue is not to be looking for alternatives in terms of your presence online, is to dealing with the fundamentals of it, because if Twitter can be banned, anything else can be banned. So the issue isn't having alternatives to keeping your presence online. It's for us to deal with the issues at hand as regards to, just banning things in the country. That's what we need to be speaking to, as opposed to having an alternative. Having an alternative is good. It speaks to business continuity. It speaks to disaster recovery and things like that. But it shouldn't be, the route or how we deal with this issue.
And also developing a framework that works, looking at sustainable policies as well. How do you see us also prepping Nigeria to take its footing as a tech hub? Because we've had back and forth around how much Nigeria is losing to the likes of Ghana along the West African corridor and on the continental front. Some also believe that we are just having instances of policy somersault. Some think we don't necessarily have the blueprint to have a sustainable tech hub in the country or a sector that is really booming. What sentiment do you really share, and how do you see the outlook for the year 2022 play out?
2022 is going to be interesting. There's a lot of things happening within the space of trying to make Nigeria the tech destination of the world. It already is, because we're exporting a lot of talent. When you speak about having your headquarters in this country or that country, it's usually about the business of it. So we need to remember that all the things that affect our local business is going to affect anyone coming into the country as well. So we need to deal with that. We're talking about still issues with electricity, issue with connectivity, and a whole host of tax issues that needs to be dealt with. These issues affect your SMEs as well. So it's not just about looking for where to place your headquarters or not. However, if you think about what has been happening in Rivers and other states that are trying to empower the tech community to take advantage of some governmental plans and policies, right? That is beginning to take shape. And in 2022, we'll see a lot more people come into Nigeria and set up properly. However, it's dependent on how we react as a people in terms of making sure that we understand that people coming into the country are not just coming to give money away. They're here to the business. And it means that we need to set up some sort of conversation going on with the government to make sure that things like banning Twitter or resulting to banning as a first resort needs to be really there needs to be a cutback on that. If you look at what is happening with it in the Twitter space, when somebody just tweeted about a new platform coming out on stream for investment, it was awesome that there was a lot of reactions, a lot of interaction when that message went out. Exactly. Which means that we can't take the connectivity, we used to talk about 6 degrees of separation, right? Right now is more like 2.75 or even 2%, 2 degrees of separation, which means that the conversation about Nigeria being a tech hub, right, needs to be taken seriously by the government, by the people, and everybody involved in it. But 2022, we see some great things happening. People coming into the country for sure. The talent is here. The talent is here, and that we have enough brains to deliver some of the services. We're talking about services in e-commerce, agri-tech, health tech. Think about it. It is happening. It is in Nigeria, and people will come.
Definitely people come. We have the resource base. We also need policies that would help support and catalyze the sector. Well, we're also looking at 5G connectivity playing out this year. We're going to see increased penetration. And for tech startups as well, we'd like to see them also cause new disruptions. Thank you very much once again for your time on The Breakfast Show this morning. Mujib Ishala, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.